Okay, so now we're going to get into deploying your AI in SMS. It's super simple. It takes just a couple clicks, couple steps, and there's a couple ways you can do it. SMS is one of those channels, not like live chat or chat widget, where there's really only one interaction that happens. You may be running a lead form, you may be running ads, you may just want to do some outreach. So I'll show you the different ways to activate the assistant with its active tag in SMS. And we'll start from scratch. We'll create a new assistant and we'll do it all together. It doesn't take too much time. Let me switch over to my screen here. Okay, so now we're in our portal here. Let's go to assistants. Let's create a new one and we'll say SMS AI. And then we'll just do the most common use case, which is sales booking AI. All right, I'm gonna let that AI generate and I'll come back when it's done. Okay, our SMS here is done. All right, so we have all of our stuff already done completely for us, generated for us. On the front half, there's only a couple things we need to do to completely set this up. And if you already have one, you can follow the same steps with your active tag, but we're starting complete from scratch. So we need a calendar. If this is going to be a booking one, so let's go to calendars. And we see some Go High Level calendars here. I'm going to take this one off just to show you. So what we'll do is we'll sync our Go High Level calendars here, and you see our calendars are now showing. So if we go to add it to our assistant, we'll notice that it doesn't add it immediately. It asks us to test the calendar to enable. And we do this just to make sure and sanity check our system with your integration and your calendar to make sure everything's good to go, so that later, if there is no booking, you can triage starting with knowing that the calendar integration is good, we're able to book, and then we can go from there. So let's go ahead and test the calendar to enable. It's going to get the times from it. We're going to verify that these look good. These are my times. So I'm going to book an appointment to confirm. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a fake contact in your sub account. We're going to book an appointment with it. And then once that's done, we're going to delete it. And then your calendar will then be verified. But we're not done yet. We still need to add it to our assistant. So I'm just going to click add to assistant here. And now we're good to go. All right. So we're just going to keep it really, really simple here just to get this thing going. So I'm not going to worry about verbiage. I'm not going to worry about knowledge or anything like that. This prompt style here it's torture tested. It's good. You really don't need more than this. Obviously, you maybe want to change your identity for the assistant here. You may want to change the task-based framework, which is just what it says and what it does. But other than that, anything else that you would traditionally put in a prompt for another platform, you can do via the tools, which makes your AI a little bit more focused when the prompt is shorter. So we'll keep it exactly as is. Change your identity, change your task if you want to. But for this one, we're not going to touch it. We're just going to run with the generated model. Not going to touch knowledge. We'll do that in a later video. All right, and we're not going to touch verbiage. Again, we're going to keep it really simple, but we do need, even though we have our calendar attached, we need the AI to have the ability, the tool, to check the calendar, to book the appointments, everything else. So we're going to go in here to our tools, which is just, think about it as the ability for the AI to do things, right? Rather than just converse. And then we have a ton of pre-built tools here. We're not going to get crazy with it. We're just going to do the ones pertaining to booking, which is check availability, book appointment, reschedule, cancel, and then check the contact's current appointments. All right, so now that those tools have been added to the assistant, we now have our calendar connected. We have our tools in place. We're not going to worry about really anything else here. The only thing left we need is an active tag. And what is an active tag? An active tag is a way for our system to know what contacts you want us to respond to. Because we collect all conversation logs for context, and we keep a permanent log of everything, so the assistant can come in when you're ready or come out when you're ready, and you can switch roles, and it still has that continuity. And you may have different assistants in the sub account for different things like sales, support, success, whatever it may be. And you also may have contacts you don't want AI to reach out to. We differentiate this with active tags. So you create an active tag, shows up in high level, we create it in high level for you. And once that tag is on the contact, we will have the AI respond to the contact. And if that tag is not on the contact, we will not have the AI respond to that contact. So we don't have an active tag here, so let's click on here. And let's create a new active tag for this specific assistant. We'll call this our SMS how to active tag. You can name it whatever you'd like. We do need to link it to this assistant, which will be this one right here. All right, and then we'll assign it a tag. I traditionally always recommend you make these unique and not use one that you already have in there, because what we'll do is we'll have to find and replace it just to make sure there's no spacing or anything, because we match it identically. So if you do one that you already have, something matches, we kind of just find it and replace. So make it really unique. It also helps later when differentiating tags so that you can see an active tag and it sticks out a little bit more than your traditional one. So what I'll do here is I'll say SMS test how to activate. I'll add that tag there. All right, so we have our tag here, our assistant assigned, and then the name. So all we have to do is save the changes. We'll see it saved down here. And then when we click out of it, we should see the active tag on here. Sorry, wrong one. Let me go here to save the changes. There we go. You'll notice, and the way I was able to notice that is you'll notice an active tag here when that assistant has an active tag. If it doesn't, it'll be blank like this phone number. We don't need to worry about the phone number. We're not going to use this one for calling, just SMS. So we have everything we need here to go ahead and get started. And so what we need is to activate this. So the assistant's ready build, has a calendar attached, has the tools to be able to check it. So then you ask, how do we get this thing to talk to a contact? How do we get the active tag on a contact? I'll show you. So besides just traditional, putting the tag on a contact and getting them to respond or whatever, what we can do is a couple things with workflows. So there's a couple scenarios that may come up where you can activate the SMS assistant. One is just putting the tag on there. So if we go there to SMS test how to activate, you saw it's automatically pushed to high level. So now if I take this one off, the one that'll respond is the one that we just created. And just so you know, if there's two active tags on there, you won't get two assistants talking at the same time. We will just run with the first one that we find on there. So you won't run into that. So you could just put it on the contact automatically. I'll take it off. Now, there are a couple scenarios where we're reaching out to a contact to maybe initiate a conversation. One example is here. I just have a couple workflows I'm going to show you just to get an idea of activation on these. So one is we may have a Facebook form that comes through and we want to add the active tag onto that contact. All right, so this is just an example of the beginning of our flow for our Facebook leads. All right, so we have in the Go High Level workflow, we have a Facebook form submitted. All right, and besides attribution and everything else, we have our active tag down here. Now, if it's something where a customer replies, we process pretty quickly. All right, so as soon as their message comes through, we're able to, what we do is we take the message in and we look for a contact or a tag on that contact. So traditionally, if you were doing like a customer reply trigger, this wouldn't work because at the time of processing that message, there would be no active tag on it. So it wouldn't reply. Now the next response after that, then yes. But this is just one where we're initiating the conversation. We're sending some outreach out. And we have these wait steps where we don't want the AI to respond, so we add the active tag last. Another example is, so that's Facebook. This is a website opt-in here from a landing page in Go High Level. So we have a form submission, and it's pretty much the same thing. We have the active tag down here. Again, just we're kind of initiating the conversation. There's a dead zone where we don't want the AI to respond. You may have one where you have it text in a specific number, or maybe you want the AI to catch all responses. All right, so I'll go back and I'll show you this example here. Now this is for the chat widget, but same thing applies. We have a customer replied trigger here. So, and all we're saying is when someone talks in live chat, and for this example is when someone talks in SMS, so reply channel SMS, right? Add the active tag. And that does it pretty quick to where we'll be able to catch it and process it pretty much all at the same time. So this is if you kind of want to just catch all SMS or SMS to a specific number, whatever here, right? The last thing here we have for you, and this is to help out for things like building follow-up campaigns, maybe starting off the conversation, whatever, is if you look in the custom workflow actions, all the way down here at the bottom, you notice that we give you a few things here. One is add context. All right, you can use this one to inject context into your assistant and into the conversation for things like follow-up, for things like this one, like giving it context, like, hey, this is a Facebook lead, let's reorder your task and do something else. These are a little bit more complicated, but you could just inject, which will also get the AI to respond in SMS. Again, you'll need your active tag. But just for this example, what we'll do is, let's just make a quick workflow. So I'm going to make it here. And we'll say when, SMS example. So when customer replies, and this is just a good example to kind of get your mind thinking of ways you want to implement it in your system. So we'll say customer replies, an SMS, and that's just saying when someone does something. A trigger is just saying when something's done, do something else. And we're saying when someone text messages us, what are we going to do? Well, and again, let's not overcomplicate it, but what I'm going to do here is just say, actually, I'll just make it super, super easy for this one. When somebody texts us, let's put on add contact tag, all right? And let's put on our active tag. All right, so super easy. It's just saying when somebody texts into our account, we're going to add the tag on them to get the AI to respond. Now, again, I don't recommend this for just a general use case because you may have contacts you don't want the AI talking to. You may have different assistants going in the sub account, maybe for different things. Like we have a success, a support, a sales, a lead magnet. We have different ones doing different things in our businesses. So on this example, this is just a very, very general example. So let's go back to the contact here, my contact. And we see the only tag we have on is go high level. All right. And I'm going to just text in here, even though I already have a conversation going in this sub account. I need to find the number. And I'll text in and say, hey. Now, because we have permanent conversation memory, if you're testing or something like that, it'll remember everything that you have coming into the sub account, even if an old lead text, like for example, I'm about to text out to the sub account there. Let's see here. I may have it saved from the last one. Let's see. Boom. There we go. Because I don't have my name or anything in here. All right, cool. And we can see SMS AI right there. Okay. Let's say wanted more info. Okay. And you see it's already coming through right there. We can see the SMS AI there. And now you'll notice that it's outputting you here. Usually that's done by a find and replace in the verbiage here, but because my historical conversations, so these assistants are very good at learning how you talk to your clients, learning how clients talk to you to kind of mimic that behavior. Again, it's why they're really good at, being able to jump in and out. My last one was trained to take out you and replace it with you, like the letter U. So you can see it's already, assuming that persona. So let's start fresh here. And you can see just from that that workflow that just said customer replies an SMS, tag them. And this works with WhatsApp too and third-party WhatsApp providers because those are all technically classified as SMS. I'm going to let this page reload and I'll start it back. Oh, here we go. Easy enough. All right, so I've reset the conversation there. We still have our active tag on. You see that? I'm going to take the active tag off. And I'll just text in again here. There we go. So we got hey. And we have our AI responding there. There we go. And Skylar, your AI sales assistant. That was the name of this one that we generated there. All right. So let's just walk through the rest of the conversation, make sure everything's connected correctly. So let's say, hopefully make more money, right? LOL. So we'll let that one come through there, and I will start it back. Okay. And so we're just going to run through the whole booking process here. Again, we're not going to worry about how this thing's talking. We're not going to worry about verbiage. We're not going to worry about cadence or anything like that. That'll be for later videos. We just want to get this thing up and running, booking, tested, and good to go. All right, so that's the spirit. Let's share a little bit, name what you offer, who your customers are. So let's say Jordan. We'll say homeowners. Let's say I'm roofing, and my customers are homeowners. And we'll play into like a B2B type thing here. I didn't see what the personality was, but we'll play into that. There we go. All right. Let's just say, hopefully put AI in my business. Okay. And like I said, we won't go over the rest of this stuff. This will be for later videos on things like verbiage, editing this here as far as the task-based framework to keep the AI focused on what we're supposed to be doing here, the tools and everything. Right now, we just want this thing conversing, booking an appointment. And so I'll speed run this. Exploring a demo, sure. Okay, and we're gonna book, we're gonna reschedule, and we're gonna cancel to make sure everything is good. I'll say, yeah, this week or next week works for me. And again, on use cases of coming in here and, doing specific things like activating it, via just inbound text or, lead forms like this here. Or you can even get creative if you're doing an outbound campaign, just tag it in. And as that outbound campaign comes on and then the lead responds and the AI knows to take it, you can do little stuff like that there. And that's how you would activate an SMS. It's a little bit different than chat widget. Chat widget is super easy because there's really the only way that happens is you have somebody message in. But with SMS, the easiest, there's a lot of things, but the easiest is just either adding the tag this way directly or in a workflow to keep it automated on an outbound campaign, or triggered from some way a lead is trying to get in touch with you. All right. So we see here it checked our available calendar slots there. Good. All right. We got some in the morning. Let's say 8 a.m. just to keep it easy. We're going to schedule for 8 a.m. and then we'll reschedule and then we'll cancel. Okay. So we see it's booking the appointment now. Perfect. Let me go here to our conversations. Great. Book that there. Perfect. We're all set up. I'll send an email with all the details or anything else you need to know before then. We'll say, let's reschedule for 10 a.m. Perfect. And so now it should be checking our times again and reschedule that one appointment, and we'll be able to see that even here that it rescheduled for 10 a.m. There we go. Great. And let's say, can you cancel that for me, please? I forgot I had a golf game. There's ours right there. We see the time changed to 10 a.m. for that one. This is an older one for the test on, I think it was a chat widget. There we go. Successfully canceled. Should be there if we refresh the page. Now canceled. And said if you just want to reschedule later, let me know. Great. And we could, take that a couple rounds further, reschedule, do all the works, but that's how you get started in SMS. So your assistant here, make sure you have your calendar attached, your tools to be able to manage the calendar, right? And those are check availability, book appointment, reschedule, cancel, and check the current appointments. You could just run with check available and then, book the appointment. Those are all you need, but we have these other ones that make your AI really, really robust. We have other tools for you along with the ability to do some other stuff like transfers, extractions, add tags, remove tags, and even some custom tools to do some really, really cool things like calculating the distance between your office location and the customer itself for truck rolls. Don't need to worry about all that right now. We're just going to keep it super, super simple. The foundational stuff, right? So that is how you create an assistant. You add your calendar, add some tools there, get your active tag ready. And there are some examples of activating your tag or activating your assistant for that contact. It could either just be for an all-out, all-around example like this one, which I'll turn this one off because we do have people messaging in and out. This is just an example here. But in a practical standpoint, you may have something like a Facebook lead form. Your client may have one, a website form coming through. You may be doing an outreach campaign. Any of those examples, just add the tag as an action. And then from there, your AI will take over once the contact responds. Super easy. Just find out where your leads are coming from, how, who's talking first. Is it you or is it the lead? And then add the tag as the first thing if it's going to be a customer talking to you. Because again, if you do it later, we're going to process the message really, really quickly and we're not going to see that tag come through. Our messages process faster than a go high level workflow or run through. So if you put it as the first action, that usually can keep up with us in the aspect of finding the tag. And if it's an outbound thing, you can still put it in the beginning or later, how we do. So that way when the contact responds, the AI will take over the conversation. But that is how you set up a simple booking bot in SMS. Took 22 minutes while explaining everything. It usually takes about 5, especially with the generation. And then when you get really good at it, less than 30 seconds. So hopefully that's helpful.